From one stunning London locale to the next, today's artists have created some fantastic worlds, from urban to rural to royal. We are in season 3 of Oscar Rewind, and today I am looking at Walt Disney Pictures Studios' Cruella. Co-written by Dana Fox and Tony McNamara, based on a story by Aileen Brosh McKenna, Kelly Marcel, and Stephen Zeisses from the Dottie Smith classic, The 101 Dalmatians. This stylish film, directed by Craig Gillespie, was released in May of 2021. What's up, everybody? Cinephile Mike here, and it's a new episode of Oscar Rewind, where I look back at the films of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss these throwbacks. Today we are continuing with Chapter 4, Designed for the Big Screen. This chapter is focusing on the production, costume, makeup, and hair design nominees that thrilled the eyes of Oscar viewers, and today we look at the powerhouse pair of production designer Fiona Crombie and art director Alice Felton, who earned their second Oscar nod this year for Hamnet. Also collaborating on recent period flicks like Macbeth, and the one that got them their first Oscar nod, The Favourite, I thought, what better way to celebrate than with this stunning retell of the classic villain. Or was she? If you've never seen Cruella, here's your quick spoiler-free setup. In the 1960s, in England, we meet young Estella Miller, played by Tipper Seifert Cleveland. A fashion-forward thinking young woman of about 12. She is bullied due to her black and white hair. But she doesn't let this get her down too much, choosing to play to the beat of her own drum. Challenging for her mother to raise her after she is expelled from yet another school, they decide to move to London. The city will be better. Her mother goes to Helman Hall, a grand estate, with the hopes to get some money to help with this new life they're putting together. Through a series of tragic events, Estella's mother is killed, and Estella runs away to London, now orphaned, and she meets two more orphans, young Jasper, played by Ziggy Gardner, and Horace, played by Joseph MacDonald. These three quickly become a found family and learn to grift as a means to survive. Jumping forward a little over a decade later, we now see our family, Estella, played by now Emma Stone, Jasper, played by Joel Fry, and Horace, now played by Paul Walter Hauser. They're getting by. But Estella has grander fashion dreams away from grifting. And after an interesting altercation and a window design, Estella has her chance. She catches the attention and is hired by the famed fashion designer, the Baroness, played by Emma Thompson. Estella begins to hope that she can have a new honest life in fashion, and it isn't long until she really captures the Baroness's attention. However, after repeated interactions, Estella learns that the two share something of a past, and not everything is necessarily good about this. And to that end, Estella will don her new persona, Cruella, and set off to put the pieces of her past together and seek retribution for the ways that she was wronged. This film really does ask, is she really the villain we've known her to become? And what a fun way they go about doing this. You know, this is the type of film where live-action Disney shines. Like when they did with Maleficent, when you take the origins of a beloved character and give us something original instead of just retreading the boards, making a live shot-for-shot remake. There's so much to talk about here, but I'm going to keep it focused. I could go on for a very long time about all the things I love about this film. But let's start with the performances. You know, you come for this Disney element, but this is amazing. This Emma versus Emma, it's worth the price of admission. Stone and Thompson have a wonderful, undeniable chemistry. So fascinating, given that they're on these two ends. It's almost like a Batman Joker kind of a thing going on. And these two actresses completely understand the world they're stepping into. They chew the scenery all the way with glee. And as these two fashion icons go head to head, you can't help but enjoy seeing the depths that they will go to. And I have to say, without spoiling, this film actually goes to a few darker places than I expected Disney to go. But it's so worth it. And additionally, filling the cast, Fry and Hauser are a delightful, less goofy than you would expect Jasper and Horace to be. You know, they actually create layered characters that you really invest in, and you truly hope that these characters get what they deserve on the positive angle, the way they've come together. And additionally, I didn't reference in my synopsis, but another fun performance is Mark Strong's John, the Baroness's valet, who has strong connections to the central story. Yeah, he's good. And visually, this film is amazing. It is a love letter to the times and yet has an almost modern look to it that plays with the timeline, especially in the fashion wars. You can tell that costume designer Jenny Beavan was having a blast at this peak time in London fashion. Jumping ahead to awards, I remember seeing this film when it came out in theaters, and it was in May, and I said, you know what? This is going to be the film that wins the costume design Oscar. I was right. I mean, she plays with bright colors and yet stark black and white, and really creates this fun world designed by the reason we are here, Crombie. Whether we're looking at the opulent house, the estate, or the workspaces of the Baroness, or, the almost condemned and yet stylish loft of Cruella's found family, small touches are delightfully executed by Felton, creating this world. It's a kind of fun film that while you don't have to take it too seriously, you actually can, and it's a delight to watch. My only real ding on the film, there are a few scenes in the third act. They drag a little bit when they get to the conclusion. I was kind of like, okay, can we move on? But then they have such a great ending, and Stone and Thompson are so delightful. I forgive it. Now let's talk box office and awards. After the film's run, it made $86,103,234 domestically and $147,400,000 internationally, for a worldwide take of $233,503,234. You know what? If it came out now, I think those numbers would have been increased, but because this was 2021, we were coming out of the pandemic, and this film was also released, premiere at home, so I think it missed that window. I'm glad it came out when it did. We got to enjoy it, but I think it could have done better. Critically, the film is at a 75% on the tomato meter from 415 reviews, a 97% popcorn meter from over 5,000 audiences reviews. The audience loved it. And award season-wise, with over 70 nods and wins, Cruella ended its season with an Oscar nod for makeup and hairstyling, and as I said, a win for Bevan's fantastic costuming. Costuming is 5 stars. It also won costumes and was nominated for hair and makeup at the BAFTAs and Critics' Choice Awards. It was nominated for several Guild Awards by the Set Decorators Society, the Art Directors Guild, the Casting Society, and it won Excellence in Period Costumes at the Costume Designers Guild and Best Period Makeup by the Makeup and Hairstylists Guild, which also nominated the period hairstyling. Also worth noting, Stone was nominated for Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy at the Golden Globes. A visually stunning joy. Cruella, you know what? Powerful, well-made, 4-star film. If you haven't seen Cruella or are ready for your rewind, it is available on Disney+. And that's it for episode 31 of Oscar Rewind. If you enjoyed this episode and want to check out the others here in season 3 or others, make sure you subscribe to the channel, check out the other playlists, and let me know in the comments, what's your favorite Disney live-action remake? Please follow me on all social media platforms and Letterboxd, and check out my website, cinephilemike.com, for more exclusive content. I'll see you for the next rewind, but until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.